Many men still believe that being strong means speaking loudly, imposing their opinions and never showing weakness. They think that to earn a woman's respect, they have to constantly grab attention, impress her with exaggerated compliments, prove their worth all the time, or give so much of themselves that in the end they end up worn out. But let me tell you something few people say. This approach no longer works if you're looking for something solid and authentic today. The man who shouts the loudest isn't necessarily the one who controls the game, and those who constantly seek approval end up losing themselves. True power lives in those who don't need to beg for affection, who don't get shaken by uncomfortable silences, and who don't bend under the weight of guilt that others try to place on them. In this context, the man who remains whole, faithful to his own values, emotions, and limits, is the one seen as truly strong. After all, when it comes to love and affection, those who act out of a need for acceptance become used, led around, and often replaced. This isn't about blaming women or saying they are cruel, but about understanding that healthy relationships depend on emotional firmness. Those who get carried away by every breeze end up losing themselves. This text aims to guide you to turn the game around. It's not a script to manipulate anyone, but an invitation for you to become a man of integrity, who stands his ground without drama, who doesn't bend just to please. If you're tired of investing too much, being chosen only to be discarded later, and feeling confused about where you stand, stay with me until the end. I'll share strategic principles so you can build presence, confidence, and respect in your relationships, whether you're single, committed, married, or starting over. These ideas will make women feel your value, and other men recognize your inner strength. How many times have you noticed that trying to justify every little thing you do only shows weakness? Many men panic at the slightest sign of distance from a woman. They send endless messages, call repeatedly asking for explanations, apologize for supposed mistakes they never made. This gives her the impression that she holds all the power, and behind the scenes, your once confident image crumbles. Instead, adopt this practice. When she distances herself or goes silent, stay calm. Don't try to fill the void with words. Don't chase after explanations or offer premature apologies. Wait, observe. Let her wonder what you're thinking. This creates a ripple effect. Your strategic silence makes her appreciate every gesture you make because it awakens curiosity and, more importantly, confidence that you know who you are, without having to explain every step. In everyday life, at work for example, if someone interrupts your train of thought, the typical reaction is to raise your voice or try to take back control harshly. But the man who speaks less, yet speaks clearly, watches others' reactions, and when he speaks again, does so with few direct words, showing mastery and objectivity. He doesn't need to compete for attention or expose his nervousness. This contrast between silence and intentional speech creates a field of respect for your presence. People notice and understand. This is someone who knows what he wants and isn't shaken by little things. Also, think about the narrative you build about yourself. One of the biggest mistakes is letting the relationship be told only from her point of view. If you limit yourself to reacting to what she says, does, or doesn't do, you give up the power over the whole story. Believe me, no one connects with your argument's mere logic. People are moved by emotional narratives. If you don't take the lead in shaping who you are, she or anyone else will fit you into categories that don't reflect your true essence. And even your best intentions can be misunderstood. When you reveal everything with no reserve, you give away your value on a silver platter, and in her mind, you become someone with no mysteries. And someone with no mystery loses charm. So change the rules. Speak only what's essential, act with serenity, and let her wonder what comes next. Simply step away when there's no need to prolong the conversation. Soon everyone involved, whether in love, friendship, work, or social circles, will respect your presence more because you become enigmatic. And mystery sparks interest. It puts you in a place of prominence even if you speak far less than before. Have you noticed that giving too much affection doesn't always work? Many men flood their phones with messages, send flowers, make extravagant declarations hoping to capture a woman's heart. The problem is that often she doesn't even believe the feelings behind all that, especially if there's anxiety in your gestures trying to prove your worth. Lasting attraction happens in the mind, not just the heart. If you don't earn respect, She'll never genuinely defend what you feel. People form quick preconceptions. If she's been disappointed by men who only gave superficial attention, any generous gesture you make might be seen as mere neediness. So focus on being consistent with the type of relationship you want to build, but without giving everything away at once. Show that you choose well the people around you, including the woman by your side, but also friends, colleagues, projects you take on. This way, she starts seeing you as discerning. He knows who he wants near and doesn't mingle with just anyone. Be selective about your company, the conversations you join, even the topics you share. Emotional intelligence shows in simple things like knowing who you spend time with and why. A woman who sees you value your time and maintain healthy relationships tends to interpret your gestures more genuinely. So instead of texting her all day, send thoughtful reflections occasionally that show clear thinking. Or invite her for a casual walk in the park, no big plans, just to show you enjoy savoring moments rather than trying to impress with big productions. Most people focus only on what's shown, how you dress, tone of voice, effusive compliments, or extreme shyness. But behind each attitude there's something deeper: insecurities, fears of rejection, past traumas. When we react only to surface signals, we react to a ghost instead of the real person. Those who understand this know that the best way to connect genuinely is to mirror what she shows without getting carried away by the moment's emotion. When a woman acts cold, sarcastic, or indifferent, often it's her way to protect herself. She might be hiding pain, showing a mask of confidence, or testing boundaries. If you respond with anger or impatience, you engage on the surface and she'll close off even more. Instead, respect this as armor. Don't try to break that shield by force. Try to understand it. You can ask a simple, curious, and empathetic question, leaving space for her to feel seen, not exposed. This way, without needing to prove anything, you earn her trust to reveal who you really are. In other words, don't fight the armor, acknowledge it's there for a reason, and act calmly. If she says, "Do whatever you want," don't be afraid. Understand that behind that phrase is a wish for you to show you care without her having to ask. Freeze the moment. Don't react immediately by flooding her with messages to prove your worth. Wait. Give her a few minutes to realize you trusted her because you didn't feel the need to reaffirm your value again. Then, speak softly and say, "Let's talk about this later. I want to understand your point of view better." If she shows distrust for no apparent reason, don't force explanations. Observe her behavior. Ask questions to understand what's behind it. For example, "I noticed you closed off a moment ago. Can you tell me what was going through your mind then?" That way you avoid accusations but position yourself with empathy. This kind of attitude shows security. Instead of reacting irrationally, you stay firm, attentive to what's behind her behavior, without sounding hurt. This posture creates a magnetic aura. Those who act like this attract because they show balance and ability to handle internal and external conflicts. Over time, these small changes in your way of communicating and relating will create a silent revolution. You'll realize that being a man of integrity isn't about controlling everything around you, but mastering yourself. The more you know yourself, the calmer you stay during life's storms. This inner strength shows in every gesture and every carefully chosen word, and that's what women value in a man. To sum up, be a man who doesn't lose himself seeking approval, who knows when to stay silent, who chooses what and with whom to share, who respects others' limits without losing himself, and who faces emotional challenges with serenity and clarity. That's the man who builds true, solid, and lasting relationships.